All right, good morning. So we're going to talk about family today, and we're going to talk about the verb have and has. Mostly we will work with have today. Um, we'll go back to am, is, are soon, but we're going to talk about have. So when we talk about family, we usually use have or has. We can use am, is, are, but again, that will be another lesson. So we're going to work with have today. So here are some examples for you. For example, I have a sister. I have one sister. I have a mother and father. I have parents. I have 4 cousins. So those are some examples. So I'm sharing a little bit about my family with you. We can also use don't have or doesn't have. So when we want to make it a negative, so I'm going to go back just one slide. These are positives. I'm saying, yes, I have a sister. Yes, I have a mother and father, or I have parents. If we go forward one slide, don't have, doesn't have, I'm saying no, I don't have. So for example, I don't have children. You could also say, I do not have, that would work too. I do not have children, right? I'll read it as it's written though. I don't have children. I don't have nieces or nephews. I don't have nieces or nephews. I don't have brothers. I don't have brothers. One thing you will notice is that all the family words are plural. So family words, for example, children, I don't say I don't have child. I don't have children, plural, more than one, because we're speaking generally. I also say I don't have nieces, plural, not I don't have niece. I don't have nieces or nephews. Both of these are plural. And the last one, I don't have brothers, brothers, plural. Not I don't have brother, I don't have brothers, plural. Another thing we can use, and this is actually more common, we can also use don't have any or doesn't have any. And you'll hear this a lot. I'll talk about at the end of this slide a little bit. I'll tell you a little more about this. So for example, I could also say, I don't have any children. So the word is any. I don't have any children. I'm going to flip back just one slide. I don't have children right here. I don't have any children. I don't have any nieces or nephews. I don't have any brothers, like that. So the word any, well, I'm going to wait for that to disappear. The word any gives emphasis, it gives push to the idea. So it's kind of like an extra, it's almost like saying I don't have any children, I don't have, it's an extra no almost. It is useful if you are correcting a wrong idea, but you can use it in all situations. So correcting an idea, so if somebody thinks, oh, you have a child, and I say, no, I don't have any children. I'm like, no, I have 0, right? I have 0 children. 2 dogs, but they're dogs, they're not children. I treat them like children, but they're still dogs. So I can correct wrong idea. So if somebody thinks one thing is true and I want to say kind of an extra no, I could use any. But you can use it in all situations. The other thing about any is it can make your sentence sound more casual. So less formal, less businesslike. It can make your sentence sound more casual, which is why many, so many, not any, many people will use this in their communications. I'm going to go to the next slide. So some questions. We're going to go over questions. Any will come back here. We'll see that word again. So I'm going to look at a few questions. So do you have a brother? And these are the questions I will ask you on today's activity. Do you have a brother? I'm asking specifically if you have one brother. So do you have a brother? So I'm thinking you have one, and I'm asking, do you have one brother? As you might remember, a or and means one. A or and means one. It means the same thing as one. And we'll talk about that a little bit later too. Something a little more general. Do you have brothers? So do you have brothers? So I'm not making a guess as to how many brothers you have. I just want to know, do you have brothers? I could also ask, do you have any brothers? Do you have any brothers? Again, this is general and it sounds more casual. So do you have brothers? Do you have any brothers? Either is acceptable to use. What you will notice here is brothers is plural, right? So we add the S because it's general. We want to make it plural. Oh, my face is in the way. So important. We use questions with a or an. If it is a family member, we only have one of. So for example, do you have a mother? Not do you have any mothers? Because that'd be kind of a weird question, because one person has one mother, right? One person has one mother. Another example, do you have a spouse? Spouse means husband or wife. Ooh, there's a typo right here. I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna fix this in real time, sorry. There we go. Okay. There we go. Fixed it. So not do you have spouses? Because one person marries one person, right? So again, if it's a family member that you would only have one of, we will use a or an in those questions. We won't see those questions on our activity today. I just wanted to bring that up in case there were any questions about those questions. And my face is in the way again. So it would be strange to ask though, do you have a mother or do you have a father or do you have parents? Because we know the answer is yes already. So you won't see that question in the activity. By grammar, those questions are fine and correct. To ask them though would be a little bit weird because everybody has a father or a mother. Even if you don't know your father or mother, if you don't know who they are, you have one because you're here. So those are questions we probably won't ask, or you won't ever have someone ask you, just because it's kind of weird, because we know the answer is yes. Somewhere out there you have a father and a mother, right? Questions. So what am I asking? So when you ask the question, do you have? When you ask, do you have, you are asking if there's a person like that in your family. And again, the do you have a mother, do you have a father question, even if you don't live with them, even if you don't know who they are, it's kind of a weird question just because we know they're somewhere. You have a father and mother somewhere, right? Other questions I sometimes get when I teach have or has is, well, if the person is not alive, should we say have? This can go one of two ways. So some people, and so I'm right here, some people will still say I have even if the person is not alive anymore. So for example, I could say I have a grandfather. He is not alive anymore, but I still think of him as my grandfather because he is my grandfather, right? So I could say I have a grandfather. His name is Bernard. He is not alive anymore, but he was a great man. Other people, though, might choose not to use I have anymore if the person is not alive. So if they're asked the question, do you have, they might leave that person out just because it feels strange to them to say that they have this person in their family, even though this person is not alive. So it could depend on the person. I personally still use I have to talk about my family members who are not alive because for me, you know, they're alive in my heart. Some people, it just feels strange to them, and that's okay. So I do get this question though when I teach family and has people say, is it okay to use I have if the person is not alive? And the answer is yes. It is okay, but it's up to you if you want to or not. So we're going to do an activity. So after this video, you're going to go back to the classroom and you'll click on the form that goes with this. So I'm going to ask you some questions and I will ask you, do you have any blank questions? So do you have any sisters? Do you have any brothers? Do you have any uncles, etc.? So I will ask a question. For example, do you have any sisters? If the answer is yes, you're going to tell me two things. Two. There we go. So you're going to tell me yes, and I'd like you to also tell me how many. And you will put this number, the how many number, in front of the family word. So like what you see down here, so the one and the sister, you're going to put the one in front of that family word. Also, as you're writing this, pay attention to if it's singular or plural. If it's singular, if it's one, then you don't need to add that S. If it's plural, two or more, you may need to add an S. So for example, do you have any sisters? Your answer would look like this. Yes, I do. I have one sister, right? So two parts to your answer. We're gonna have two parts. So number one, part one, yes, I do. And how many? I have one sister. Now this is an answer for me. That's true for me. You're gonna write answers that are true for you. If your answer is no, so this first part is the same. So if your answer is no, if you say no, no sisters in my family. If the answer is no, you're going to tell me again two things. You're going to tell me no, and you're going to tell me don't have any. So no, I don't. I don't have any sisters. Like this, right? So if the answer is no, you're going to tell me no, and you're going to use don't have any. So I say, do you have any sisters? No, I don't. I don't have any sisters. And remember, use the plural sisters. So if it's negative, if your answer is no, your family word will be plural every time. If it's a yes, it depends on your number. So I'm actually going to exit this right here. I'm going to go back here. So I'm going to do another example. So let's say for example, you have 3 sisters. So you'll type, yes, I do. I ask you the question, do you have any sisters? You say, yes, I do. And then you say, I have, and we said 3 sisters. Right there with the S. So I have 3 sisters. So notice when it's 1, no S. When it's 3, more than 1, so 2 or more, we add the S at the end. So just make sure. We'll do a separate activity at some point where we practice adding the S. I think some of us already know a little bit about this, which is why I'm just gonna give it to you and have you do it. If you forget to add the S, it's no problem for now, but I would like you to try and practice it. So again, the activity I will ask you to do, I will ask you about members of your family. I will say, do you have? And you will say, yes, I do, or no, I don't. If your answer is yes, you will tell me how many. So just like right here, yes and how many. And if your answer is no, you'll say no and you'll say don't have any. So again, we'll continue a little bit more with family this week, but we're going to start with this activity. If you have any questions about this, feel free to comment in the YouTube video, send me a message, a text, and I'll be glad to help you out. So stay tuned and we will continue with more of this in a little while. So go ahead, hop back to the Google Classroom and do that for me. All right, and then we stop the recording.